Hello ladies and gentlemen, Willie here. With Nax well underway and all the content Classic has to offer now being on the table, perhaps you will have completed everything that you wish to at this point in the game, or maybe there is still a good number of things for you to tick off, and honestly it's a pretty good time to get more than a few bits and pieces done that you may have just missed out on so far. So all of this is very much conditional on the idea that the move to TBC will be progressive, wholly or at least in part. I think there will certainly be the option to do so. Regardless of that, what can you do in the downtime between now and TBC if you get that itch to log in WoW now and again? Let's start it up talking about gold. Now is one of the easiest times to make gold that has ever existed in Classic. This is doubly so the case because if you aren't raiding Nax or only plan to do it for a short period of time, because the way Nax is shaping up at the moment is that it is a real gold sink. Granted, we're still in the early weeks, right? Once people start putting on some tier 3 or just better frost resist gear, it should go some way to bridge the gap that consumables are currently doing. In any event though, Naxxramas has proven to be much more of a step up than many players had expected it to be. And well, it is the first raid Blizzard designed with the notion that players would be using world buffs and would be popping consumables to some extent to take advantage of them. I don't think we're going to be able to see guilds skimping on consumables for certain bosses at any point in time really, just to make sure that kills go smoothly. And the best part to make gold from this is you don't even need to be level 60. Scarlet Monastery Graveyard especially is great, as are some of the other dungeons which can drop Fey Leaf as well as Grave Moss. You could have a quick run through here, solo at level 40 or even lower. Literally any class can do this as well. These are both needed for greater shadow protection potions, which every raid will be using 2 of them per raider per low fev kill forever basically. And well, just look at how much the end product is going for at the moment, and you're going to need 4 Grave Moss to make 1 of these for these ingredients as well. Greater frost protection potions for Saffron are the exact same deal, you're going to need 2 per kill. These need an elemental water. Once again, there are so many easy locations to get this. If it's a water elemental, it'll drop them basically. Higher level stuff obviously has a better chance to drop them though, but there are still spots like the island just off the coast of Northwest Stranglethorn Vale that has a ton of elementals there. The boiling pools in the centre of 1,000 Needles, that has a bunch of spawns too. They're a bit annoying to farm though because they're all in the water. Or if you're a bit of a higher level, the elemental invasion in Winterspring is really good as well. And interestingly enough, if you look at the prices on Nexus Hub, it's kind of funny what's happening. Usually everyone prepares, right, and buys items to resell when the content comes out, because there are just so many on the market that prices usually go down and then they settle pretty fast. With Naxxramas though, they start going down as usual, then people realised, uh-oh, I'm actually gonna need these consumables, and they've gone back up again. Chillwind Echo is another good one to farm. You need a cache of Mari in your inventory, and you can randomly get them from Chillwind Chimera around Winterspring. These are used for an extra frost resist buff on Saffron. I guess these will retain value for some time, unlike the other 2 items I just mentioned. People will be gathering more frost resist gear over time. Then again, it's an easy plus 15 frost resist you can buy, so you can equip some gear that actually makes you do damage. I reckon if you're in a guild that's getting to Saffron regularly, they're still going to want people to be popping these and jujuing up. Point is, Naxxramas is expensive. Make the most of it during the hype if your pockets are looking a bit thin. Get that epic mount for yourself if you're 60. Maybe even sort out the gold for flying at 70, which is 900 by the way. That could be a good idea too. Another thing I wanted to link in with the Chillwind farm actually is the possibility of getting some of the reputation farms done that you might have tried to do earlier in the game but didn't have time, or it was constantly super competitive, especially the open world stuff. The Winterspring trainers, which admittedly are Alliance only, there are still benefits to it later on though, starts off by having you go collect Shardtooth and Chillwind meat. It's a decent double dip in gold farming, whilst also making a start on this huge rep grind. You know, it's strange that the Horde didn't actually get a faction specific mount reputation for ages actually. You know that one guy in Ungoro Crater near the southeast where you come over from Tanaris? Yeah, that's where the Horde ended up getting a mount from rep from, but it wasn't implemented until Rafa the Lich King. It just feels like a bit of an oversight. I mean, the guy is just standing there AFK for like 5 years or something. Anyways, as for Winterspring trainers, once you get 1500 into neutral, you're going to unlock another quest, which says go kill 5 Shaman and 5 Ursa in Winterfell Village. And here's where it gets good. Well, I think it does anyway. You are at once farming for the Winterspring trainer rep, you're farming gold due to Winterfell Firewater, which is already pretty expensive. If you still have that cache of Mari in your inventory, you're also getting Winterfell Echo from these guys. You also get 2 chest spawns around here that can drop some decent greens. You get a bunch of major healing potions, you get major mana potions, you get a good amount of rune cloth. There are also 3 or 4 rich thorium veins that spawn around this area as well. There might be a Black Lotus too, but I haven't seen any personally as of yet. On top of this, you're also farming the Timbermore Hold rep at the same time, which is, I don't know, a little added bonus I guess, depends how much you like farming reps. Most of the rewards aren't really much anymore apart from saying, look at me, I've done this, I've got this nice green bar on my reputation tab. You get a bunch of tokens from the Winterfell mobs as well to go and turn in. In fact, you'll get exalted with Timbermore Hold faster than Winter Spring trainers, even without actually trying to. But that's just a bit of a testament to how much grind Winter Spring Frostsaber takes. Even if you're a Horde player, you still do pretty well off this grind, you just aren't getting any rep towards a mount. It's still pretty worth a look though, I'd say. Oh, and if you do go here, always try and group and set the loot to FFA. Invite the poor guys trying to get the quest done here because there's really no point being solo, it just makes life harder for everybody. And by the way, High Chief Winterfell always drops a firewater, so he tends to get camped quite a bit more, so keep your eye on that cave. I find this farm pretty enjoyable at least. I think at some point something becomes so efficient to do that it becomes fun, if that makes sense. Next up are professions, and I'm not just talking about your main either. Like many things, TBC comes with loads of changes to the game. It's no longer the case where basically everyone wants to be an engineer for literally everything, though engineering's still pretty good. The master tier of your chosen profession can be learned from your faction hub in Hellfire Peninsula, so make sure you finish leveling them up all of the way. This goes doubly so for the new profession dual crafting, where it needs a loads of materials that are currently plentiful and cheap. This won't be the case once TBC is announced when people start to stockpile. It's definitely worth either looking up a simple dual crafting guide or stocking up on some bits to sell yourself. Even get a bit more than you think you need, chances are you can resell for a profit will be very high. As for profession alts, whilst it may be a point of some contention, if it's full progressive they're gonna be a thing. And I think they're going to be making the prices of cooldown items come down quite a lot faster than many may expect. So as you may know in Classic, the main cooldown items, you've got Arcanite Bars, you've got Cured Rugged Hide, and you've got Mooncloth, ranging from 2 to 4 days cooldown. You need a minimum level of 35 to learn the Artisan tier when you can make these. In TBC you're going to need a minimum level of 50 and be able to craft the new cooldown items. Those mainly being Spellcloth through Tailoring and Primal Might through Alchemy. There are some others. Either way, you may know that the quest that starts your journey into Outland is available from the Blasted Lands as of level 58, whereas you should be able to be summoned into Outland whenever really. There's not much point going there before level 50 though, since that's the level you'll need to be to learn the new profession items to actually level up to the point where you can make the new cooldown items. Oh, and if you're mega keen and have gold to spare in Classic, after getting professions to 300 you could even prepare items to level up the second you learn how to go past 300, especially from resist gear that was needed in earlier tiers like Flare Core for tailoring or Corehound gear for leather working. This is pretty expensive and you will still need TBC tier items sooner rather than later, but it will get you ahead if you're pushing to get a hold on the market for new items. And finally, I suppose I'll have to give it a mention, something even bigger than professions, rep or gold, your class. Times are changing. Naxxramas is the peak for melee dominance for, well, a very long time if I'm honest. I definitely plan to do some content on TBC classes just like I did with Classic back a while ago now. Hopefully I can give you a nice overview of what you can expect. But for the big DPS at the top of the meters, expect to see a lot more purple and green. There is also a chance, it might be a small chance, but I'll give it a mention, that Blizzard would implement the leveling XP rework with the launch of TBC, which reduces the XP you need by about 30% or so between level 11 and 60. So if you really don't like leveling, it could be worth the wait. This was only put into TBC when it was retail as of patch 2.3 though, which is nearer the end than the start, so who knows really. I know I'm still plenty busy with Naxxramas and just completing reps personally. If I wasn't, I'd definitely recommend farming gold now and supply those Naxxramas raiders with what they need, because there is going to be a lot of guilds in there at the moment trying to get that first progression kill on KT, and it won't last forever. Or, you know, just go play Cyberpunk or something in the downtime. That's probably going to be a pretty good idea too. Anything else other you guys are up to or you think I missed off? Let me know. Thanks all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one very soon. If you like what you see, do give the video a like and subscribe, as there will be plenty more to come. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.